JC, this is Chris. I got an idea to do a video. Earlier today I'd watched Alex at Motoric 247, and one of the things he showed was he went to End of an Ear in Austin, Texas, I think, and he picked up an album by Elliot Schwartz called Extended Piano, which that sounded pretty good when I sampled it. And I have an Elliot Schwartz on a Marion Brown album, Marion Brown duets with Elliot Schwartz and some other person. I forget their name, but that made me think, okay, I've got a bunch of records. They're sort of categorized by piano involvement, but they also come along with artwork. They're all sort of art-based or artwork on the cover, which almost every album has. But the first one I'll start with is this one here. This is called Music to Paintings by Edvard Lieber, and it's put out on the, I guess, the Edvard Lieber label, because this record is record number EL1. Here's Mr. Lieber. So these are his thoughts on compositions. This is solo piano, or piano, prepared piano maybe, but piano based. This cover is a detail from the Willem de Kooning piece called Untitled 4. So he's got one side that's 24 de Kooning Preludes, which I'm going to put that on, and the other side is various other pieces. So there's the Edvard Lieber label. So this is the 24 de Kooning Preludes, based on 24 of his paintings. And then the B-side is another, it starts out with a Jackson Pollock inspired song, then one homage to Franz Klein, based on one of his works. The third song is based on a painting by Edvins Stroutmanis. Fourth one is a painting by Elaine de Kooning. And the last one is by a piece, Marcello Bonavardi. So that starts us off. The seller included this copy of a letter. Dear librarian, enclosed is through a generous grant, I've enclosed a complimentary copy of Edvard Lieber's Music to Paintings. It has been hailed as one of the most important recordings of piano music to emerge in decades. Of course, I'd never heard of this until I stumbled across it on Discogs, I think, but it's pretty good. Next one I've got to show is this one here, Shadows and Images by Bert. Two composers are featured on here. Burton Beeman takes up side 1, and Marilyn Shrewd is side 2. This is on the Orion label. So the Burton Beeman piece is a concerto for saxophone and taped instruments. That's side 1. Two of these pieces were composed for John Sampson, who is the saxophonist, and the third piece was commissioned for a saxophonist, but not Mr. Sampson. It was another person, and then I guess he liked it, decided he would put it on here too. So all these records also seem to be categorized are in the mid-80s. So this is 1985. This cover piece is called Big Red by Dorothy Linden. And side two is the Marilyn Shrewd side. So first one is saxophone and piano, and then another piece for saxophone quartet. And we've got Tim Storey. This is on Lost Lake Arts, which is a Windham Hill subsidiary, for 1988, though it looks like it might have been issued originally in 1984. Tim Storey, multi-instrumentalist. So this could be categorized as sort of new agey, but synthesizer, guitar, vibraphone, recorder, piano, and effects. Tim Storey is also the artist, did the cover art. And we have this one here. Oops. Transvalue Book 1. This is put out by Charles Britt and Michael Vlatkovich. Charles Britt provides the poems. So this is poems with instrumental backing. Michael Vlatkovich does the compositions. He's also a trombonist. Charles Britt does the vocals. He reads the poems. And then they've got a selection of people providing accompaniment on that. So some of it's modern classical, some of it's avant-garde, some of it's like almost jazzy. This is on the Thank You Records label. So, bunch of compositions, numbered compositions. The other instruments are bass, percussion, trumpet, woodwinds, keyboards, tuba, guitar. So the cover art is by Charles Britt, who also did the words. So, not sure what that's supposed to be. It doesn't give the title. Looks like it could be a person with a some kind of necklace on. Could be a red-faced baboon for all I know. Transvalue Book 1, Charles Britt and Michael Vlatkovich. And then the last two. John Downey plays John Downey. This is on the Gasparo label, which I don't think I've got any other vinyl on Gasparo. Usually I expect that to be a CD label, but here's the label. So he does a bunch of different compositions here. Side one is song cycle, piano, and a singer, tenor, I think. Then it's second half of side one is Lydian Suite, which is for his daughter Lydia, which is solo cello. That's the composer, born 1927. And then he's got side two starts out with piano and tuba, Taboo for Tuba, which is sort of a, I guess that's a transposition of the letters. And then 3 solo piano pieces make it up. Reading the liner notes, it said that he had been invited to a conference where he was going to present and play, and his wife asked him innocently, since you're a composer and a teacher, why don't you just compose something? What do you mean? The conference is only in 2 days. I can't possibly do that. But that got him thinking about it, so he came up with a composition which leads off the 3 piano pieces, Portrait Number 1. That cover artwork by the Brazilian artist Odetta Guersoni. John Downey. And then the final album in this little get-together is George Crumb and Charles Ives. So these are pieces for vocal and piano accompaniment. Jan De Catani is the soprano, and Gilbert Kalish plays piano. Gatefold there, one side to each composer. This is on the Bridge label, which also seems to be, at least in my collection, primarily CDs. But so George Crumb has his side's called Apparition, which is based on the text of Walt Whitman, when lilacs last in the dooryard bloom. So these are gathered together under the subtitle of Memories of Abraham Lincoln, because these were composed shortly after Lincoln was assassinated. So the text from Walt Whitman, music composed by George Crumb. So this was pretty good. Even without the text, just the compositions themselves were good. Then side 2 is Charles Ives, and he does several songs. He does the music. Half of them he does the text, and the other half are from other people, like James Fenimore Cooper closes the album. Shakespeare is responsible for 2 of them. So this was from 1983, and the cover art is from Craig P. Russell, who I know primarily as a comic book artist, but he does this sort of ornate style, even though it's, here it's just a black and white drawing, which again, alluding back to that thread of black and white cover art, this would be a perfect one for that. So P. Craig Russell, the artwork. So there you go. 5 or 6 albums grouped together by date, by artwork. I think they all had a piano on them. And you've got the Edvard Lieber music in the background, to music to paintings. These are 24 preludes for de Kooning. So, thanks everybody. See you later.